Joining us now for more insight into all this I brought up, he sits on the House Intelligence and Ways and Means Committees, Florida Congressman Greg Steube. Back on the program. Mr. Steube, nice to see you.
Dan, how are you doing? I'm good.
All right, you're busy. You guys are going to be locked in, I have a feeling, until the 4th of July deadline if we don't get this bill passed. So says the president. He doesn't want you all leaving D.C. There's still a lot of no's in the House, and this new version the Senate sent back over for several reasons. Debt ceiling, that Medicaid for illegals got snuck back in there. It was supposed to get removed, and there's some other things that are still upsetting. I would say probably, over a dozen House members? So what's it looking like, Greg?
Yeah, look, I'm not happy with some of the changes that the Senate made either, but you've got to look at all of the huge benefits that are in this one big, beautiful bill, and the first one we'll talk about is the border. I mean, we all, as Republicans, every single one of us talked about shutting down the border, finishing building the wall, and giving CBP and Border Patrol the things that they needed to get all of these illegals out of our country, and this bill does that. Just that alone is enough to vote for this bill. Then you want to talk about the tax cuts. This would make permanent all of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Acts from 5 years ago that Trump passed in his first term. If we do not do that, the average family of four sees a tax increase of $3,500 a year. 64% of Americans get a tax increase. Small businesses that use 199A deduction get a 20% increase in their taxes. We cannot let that happen.
No.
Republicans cannot let the largest tax increase happen on the American people under our watch. So I understand some of the concerns. The vast majority of this bill is very, very good. I know that the president's trying to work on some of these issues that he may be able to do through an executive order, say on the Medicaid illegals issue, because he has broad authority as it relates to immigration. So we're working through it. Right now we're in a holding pattern because they know they don't have the votes for the rule. And once they get that, then we'll move forward. If we don't get that, like you said, I think that the Speaker and the President are going to keep us here at least until Friday to try to get this done. He wants a bill signing ceremony of the most historic piece of legislation in the history of our country on his desk to sign on July 4th. And we owe that to him for all of the things that he has done to get elected and the mandate that we have from the American people that sent him and us up here to get this job done.
And we did. And you're correct, Greg. I mean, you think about what the man personally and his family and businesses have gone through for 8-10 years and being shot and everything else.
He's literally been shot for our country just because of the positions he takes. And by the way, the 80-some million of us who've supported him since he came down the escalator in 2015, we wanted the things he's doing, and we're getting win after win. Let me ask you something on the Senate version, because I know there's a headline that says that the Speaker Johnson is pretty PO'd about the Senate version, and I got to admit, I am as well. Are they not considering, when they raise the debt ceiling even higher than the House version, are people not doing the right math that Trump's bringing in billions, if not $1 trillion or a couple trillion, in new revenue with all these new deals from Japan and everywhere else, not to mention the new tariff trade deals, the spending, we won't have to spend as much now because other nations are going to kick in more for NATO. Like, he's done a bunch of stuff that should reduce spending over the next several years and hopefully bring that spending and the deficit down. So I think when everybody's freaking out about this massive number, they're forgetting about all that new revenue and the cuts, aren't they? Well, it should and it will, but unfortunately, CBO can't take that into consideration. They can't take into consideration any of this tariff revenue. I think just last week was like $26 billion. The week before that was like $22 billion. So we're getting billions of dollars in revenue into the Treasury just on the tariffs that they can't take into account on this bill because there's not tariffs in the bill. They have to just look what's on the piece of paper.
Okay.
And the increase in the debt ceiling, listen, all of that increase in spending happened underneath the Democrats and Joe Biden. COVID spending, IRA deal, that was $1.5 trillion. All of that was the Democrats, but we can't, as Republicans, allow to lose on our debt. For that to go past the deadline would be dramatically horrible for our economy. The president recognizes that. He's upset that he has to deal with that and that wasn't dealt with under the previous House term, but here we are. It's something we have to do, and I feel very comfortable with Bessent and what he is on the issues at Treasury. I feel very comfortable with the president, and I feel like based on the tax cuts that we are going to deliver to the American people, that will increase revenue so much because of the increase in businesses, the increase in employment, the increase in other people paying taxes because they now have a job and paying less in taxes to the federal Treasury to be able to hire people people, I think you're going to see deficit spending go down. And I think you're going to be able to see us as we go into the budget, be able to, on a 10-year path, put us on a path to a balanced budget. But we have to get this passed and get over this hurdle to address those issues.
And now if we could just get the Fed chair to drop interest rates, okay?
Correct.
So
That'll
we,
help
the people
tremendously.
and small businesses, could take out some loans, buying homes, buying new cars, reinvesting, hiring new people, expanding. I think this economy by the fourth quarter is just going to explode.
Well, and that'll make the debt price go down too, because if interest rates go down, the interest on the debt goes down.
Great point. All right, Stubes, we'll let you get back to work. Congressman Greg Steube, Florida, representing the 17th, as always. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Good to see you.
Yep, have a good 4th.